TikTok coming at me on a Sunday with some awesome career questions. Let's get into this one. So, do you take the lesser paying job at the company that's kind of well known, or do you hold out for the higher paying job someplace else to make more money? All right, I was listening to a podcast recently, this guy, Alex Hermosi, so I need to give credit where credit's due. And he talked about, and I do agree with this, that there are learning years and earning years in your career. And he is absolutely right. And let me talk about what I mean. I see a lot of people in their career spend way too much time only in the earning years. And you know who I'm talking about. They start making money and they like it, so they keep just looking for the next better paying job. In that time, they're not building their skill sets up and they're not making sure that they're staying relevant in the marketplace. What ultimately happens is something called going over the cliff. And that is one day people realize that they are overpriced, that there are people that are cheaper and, have better skill sets, right? The next generation coming up behind them, they lose their job, they go off the cliff, and now they can never get a job at that price point again because they have to start over into their learning years. You don't want to be in your learning years mid or late in your career. So think about that. A great time to be in your learning years is earlier on in your career. So when you think about going to a company with a good name, that can be really helpful to you. Let me give you another example. As a 20-year staffing and recruiting veteran, I can tell you that my customers, right, my job seekers will often land job interviews because of a name on their resume, a company that they worked for, like Meta, Google, Apple, Amazon. These companies have very intense hiring processes. So if you get through their hiring process and you get hired, every recruiter out there knows it's like a pedigree. Like, wow, you must be really good if you made it through their hiring process, which means you can spend like 18 months at those companies and then get poached for a much higher paying job. But in that time, you learn a lot because you're at these really, smart, forward-thinking companies. So you've got to ask yourself, should you be in learning mode right now? I would argue it sounds like it might be a good chance for you to get this name on your resume and to build up some skill sets. Now, all that said, I'm going to throw one little curveball at you to consider. And that is, we are very rapidly moving towards something called evidence-based hiring. Employers are no longer trusting resumes or text-based profiles anymore because people just lie. And so they have to make sure that you can do what you say you're doing. And let's give you some signs of this. Interview processes are getting really long right now. I'm seeing a lot of jokes like, why am I going through 5 rounds of interviews and they're having me do an exercise? Evidence-based hiring. Companies don't want to be burned. They don't want to hire just anyone. They want to hire somebody they know has the personality, aptitude, and experience to do the job. And so not only is it going to be about, choosing a good place to go and learning, but also make sure that what you're learning, you know how to brand it and market it about yourself. Because make no mistake, you are a business of one. You are a service provider selling your service to employers. Going forward, we have to see ourselves as business partners. And if you want to stay in demand and relevant and earn what you want to earn for as long as you want to work, your brand is going to have to be chef's kiss, absolutely amazing. And being able to share that evidence is going to be the way that you do that. So, I talk all the time. There's this app that I'm a huge fan of that I've partnered with because of this, because I believe that people are going to need a really easy way to provide that evidence. You should go over and check out McCoy. I've got them linked in my bio, but also just go to the iPhone store and download the McCoy app. It's free to download because apps like that are going to be the future for you providing that evidence and really validating what you learn when you're at these companies during your learning years. So that was a lot more than you asked for, I'm sure, but I want to paint a fuller picture for you. Thank you for your question, folks. I'm on this app trying to help 10 million of you get new, better paying jobs. I'm doing that by answering questions like this one. So you follow me here if you found this helpful. It's free. And then post your questions, okay? Let's do this together because everyone deserves a new, better paying job. I really believe that. But in order to do that, you need knowledge. Knowledge is power, okay? Most people don't know how to job search correctly. So these are the kinds of questions I just love to answer. Good luck, my friends. Go get them.